So, ladies and gentlemen, F1 is officially back. Yes, finally we can say that F1 is back, and this time for real. No more testing, no more BS off, oh, the sandbagging, oh, we don't know the actual order. It's the actual deal. Though it's still FP1, but F1 is back, and we are here for the FP1 of the first race of the season, the 2024 Bahrain Grand Prix. And it feels good to be back. So yes, more than maybe I would say 95 days approximately since we have been live for an official session. We were live for the practice, testing and stuff, but this is the real deal. Still expect in the practice sessions for the teams to do some sandbagging and stuff. As you can see, fastest time till now is 35.0, and in testing it was 29.8. So still loads of team will be sandbagging and all, but still. So yes, just a quick rundown of the session till now. 6 minutes have been passed, and we have, you can see on the screen as well, Sergio Perez is fastest with a lap time of 135.0. Then we have Sainz and all, so we will take a look into it, but it's not more of a use as compared to the running, we will see, because as you can see on the track, almost I will say 15 drivers are on the track. You can see loads of cars for the first time, and there goes Lewis, top of the timing sheets with a gap of 5 tenths side of Checo. Surely the timings will tumble, because if I'm sure, at least expect generalized timings around something 1 minute 30 second, 1 minute 31 will be a ideal benchmark for the FP1. If you remember from last 2 seasons, the timings in practice have been a bit slow as compared to the qualifying and all, because the team still would like to hide their pace till the last moment as possible, because we all know Red Bull is quick, but I'm sure that Max might not be quickest. If Red Bull wants to show their pace, they can be quick, but as much I know, Red Bull might not show the actual pace still, and this is also not the actual pace of Mercedes, if you are wondering, because timings are somewhat 3/4 tenths of the pace, though they are on the medium set of tires. But I would say approximately on a medium set of tires, the ideal lap time at this time will be a 1 minute 34. 1 minute 31 minute 1 minute 32. So yes, still there will be loads of sandbagging, but we have loads of car on track. That's the main thing, because in testing we know there are 10 cars maximum at a time on a track, but today we can have 20 cars as well. So yes, let's focus on the testing as well. Let's discuss about which team stands where in the pecking order predictions. Like, we cannot say exactly, but the pecking order predictions, the constructor standings predictions, and all those stuff. So before getting into the actual proper type commentary, please don't forget to like the stream, and you can see Charlotte goes P3 there. So please don't forget to like the stream and subscribe to the channel, because it really helps and motivates me a lot. So yes, we have a target of reaching 5,600 subscribers maybe by today, by the end of FP2. So yes, it will be really great. So please don't forget to like and subscribe and all that good stuff. So let's get back to it. On the screen at the moment, it's Max Verstappen. He's on the outlap at the moment. We'll discuss about the standings further, but let's look at his lap times. You can see in the bottom of your screen, Verstappen sets a purple sector 1 or 30.1, I think. 28 is an ideal first sector, if I'm not wrong. Let's see. 31 for Max Verstappen, 30.1 for Max Verstappen. I think Max is like here. I'm not sandbagging and stuff, I'm just going for it. And don't be shocked if you see Max on the top of the timesheets in less than a minute now. Let's continue with his lap. Quite a bit of purple mini sectors there, but generally a decent lap. I think is not pushing to the limits. And just for your information, all the drivers currently on the medium set of tires. So yeah, purple sector 2 for Max. So as Carlos goes quickest, let's focus on Max. Coming around the final few corners, a bit of traffic there in face of Lance Stroll. Max Verstappen around the final corner, foot down to the floor, and P1, I know it's P1, but I want to see the margin, and goes fastest by 6 tenths of a second. So yes, no doubt about it, we knew Max was gonna go quickest, and he does. A lap time of 133.9. Still 2 seconds slower than the ideal lap time here around Sakir. So yes, nothing new, and welcome to Formula 1 everyone. Be ready for the Max domination. 24 out of 24 this time, maybe, we don't know, but because Max looks quite a lot motivated this season to win 24 out of 24. So yes, welcome to Formula 1. See you guys for a championship fight next season. But yes, jokes apart, let's discuss. And we can see Sergio Perez also going quickest. So Red Bull bit by bit showing the pace here. We can see Sergio Perez improving 2 tenths or max's lap time there. 29.9 in the first sector and going good in the second sector as well. Let's see what time it does there. And Checo in the second sector got a bit 40.5. Okay, so maybe lost 2 tenths in the second sector, gained 2 tenths in the first sector. So I think maybe it might be close to Max's time. Let's see. So yes, Checo Perez coming on the final few corners. Through the penultimate corner goes Checo Perez and foot down to the floor, pedal to the metal and shifting of the gears. Obviously there's DRS here as well. Sergio Perez goes P2. As I said, he looked a bit slow in the second sector, but less than a 10 separate the two Red Bulls. And then we have two Ferraris and two Mercedes. So kind of an ideal order here to say the least. Like it's not exactly ideal because the driver with the slowest lap time is Hülkenberg with 138.2, which will not be surely the slowest time, but kind of this might be the pecking order. So let's discuss about it. And here is Charles Leclerc improving on his lap time, goes to P3, a tenth behind Max Verstappen's time. So yes, as I was saying, let's discuss about the pecking order. The practice and all stuff will go on, and in the meantime don't forget to like and subscribe. I have said again, but yeah, pecking order I will say. Let's start from the first because we all know there's no suspense there. The fastest team I will say is Williams. No, just joking there. The fastest team is Red Bull. We all know that, though the testing times don't reflect it, because in testing we saw Red Bull to be fourth or fifth quickest, or maybe the second, third best car. But no guys, that's all fake. It's all sandbagging. And if any team is sandbagging the most, it's Red Bull. Because see, though they have followed the Mercedes concept, if you might have seen the images of the car, they have followed kind of an inspiration from the Mercedes 2023 concept, the big shoulders and zero side pod. But I'm sure it's not a copy of exactly replica of Mercedes in terms of performance. As we can see Norris in P4 there. Yeah, McLaren also are an interesting topic to discuss here. We will discuss about them in the further parts of the live stream. So be sure to tune in throughout the stream. We will discuss about the upcoming season. So as I was saying, though Red Bull have sandbagged a lot, but if you might have seen the testing, there were some moments where Red Bull were like expressing how happy they were with the pace. And I think there was a moment in day 1 of testing when Max set a purple lap time in the final few minutes, and there was a huge grin on the face of Max's team engineer GP Gianpiero Lambiase. As we see Lewis going P2, less than half a 10 behind Max Verstappen. So yes, as I was saying, there was a quite a large grin on Max's race engineer there. So that grin was an indication of the things to come, because the data, I think according to that grin which I can read, and if you guys might have seen it, it says that they have got the car they wanted. And as I said, though it's a copy of Mercedes, but if you go on a deeper look, if you might have seen the images, there are two side pod inlets. Like what the problem in Mercedes design was, there was only a single side pod vertical inlet, but in Red Bull it is a vertical and in horizontal, and near the driver heads where that soft foam is for the head protection, there is even a third inlet there. So cooling won't be hampered, because I read somewhere that Red Bull might face a reliability issues because of cooling issues, because we all know, because of thinner side pods, less air going into the car and less cooling to the engine. But according to me, Red Bull might have spotted the mistakes Mercedes might have made, and they will be quickest. There's no doubt about it. Cannot say anything about the gap, because some teams are saying that the gap to Red Bull is even more than previous season, and some teams are saying that the gap is a bit less than previous season. So cannot exactly say the gap, but according to me, 2 tenths per lap, 3 tenths per lap in terms of race pace. So 15-20 seconds advantage for Max in terms of whole race is my prediction. This can be wrong, this can be right. Early predictions, we cannot judge anything from testing, as it's a go-to line, sandbagging and not representative and all. But still, early signs suggest Red Bull are quickest. As we can see here, George Russell green first sector, purple middle sector, and Max Verstappen also setting good lap times in the first sector. we'll keep an eye on it. And so yeah, Red Bull are quickest. Second team, so I would say this is a bit more anticipated thing than the first thing, because first thing, as I said, we all know Red Bull are going to be quickest. Max does a lap sector 1 of 29.5, 29.9, and Russell goes quickest, 1.5 tenths ahead of Max Verstappen, but Max Verstappen already in the first sector has an advantage of 2 tenths. Let's see how this pans out. But as I was saying, the team who is second quickest is, I would say, the most interesting dynamics in Formula 1 at the moment. There are 4 competitors, in the simple terms. We'll consider Aston Martin as well, not exactly the main competitors, but still we'll consider them. Mercedes, Ferrari, McLaren and Aston Martin are the 4 competitors. So we'll take a look at the strengths and weaknesses of each team. First of all, I would say we shall relegate Aston Martin because they have looked quick, but not exactly. As I said, Fernando Alonso sets a purple sector 1, but as I was saying, Aston Martin have looked quick, but they are not looking as quick to challenge Red Bull or Mercedes and that big guys. So let's keep them out of the discussion, and we can see Max Verstappen going quickest by 2 tenths for George Russell. So don't be shocked if the timings keep on tumbling, because as I said, this is still early time in practice, so teams might be doing some testing with the setup and stuff. But yeah, as I was saying, the second team I would say is a close fight between Mercedes and Red Bull. Mercedes and Ferrari. The reason I'm not including McLaren is we all like, first of all, the McLaren didn't look quick in practice, and also looking at the various data published by various websites and all stuff, it says that Ferrari is the second quickest team in terms of qualifying pace, which is approximately 3 to 4 tenths slower than Red Bull, and Mercedes are the second quickest team in terms of race pace, which is approximately 2.5 tenths slower than Red Bull. McLaren, well, in both the charts, near third and fourth, but I would say a big part here is the track. In the past 2-3 seasons, we have seen that the layout of Bahrain doesn't typically suit McLaren's car, if you guys might remember from last season. Though McLaren had a dreadful start to the season last year, but still Oscar Piastri, I think, scored points in his home race at Australia in the second race. So I think it's more of a track which doesn't suit McLaren as compared to the car itself. So, but still, talking about Bahrain, I won't consider McLaren in the fight, because I personally feel, and the data suggests, that the track doesn't suit McLaren much as compared to their nearest rivals. So we are left with 2 teams, as I said. In the meantime, please don't forget to like the stream and subscribe the channel, because it really helps and motivates me a lot. Currently on 5 likes. If we get to 10 likes, it will be really awesome. But as I was saying, moving on to the nearest competitors, those are Ferrari and Mercedes. So as I said, both of the teams have their advantage. Ferrari have the upper hand in terms of the qualifying pace, and Mercedes have an advantage in terms of the race pace. So if I was to pick among the two, I would pick Mercedes. And listen to me, the reason is, see, qualifying pace has been the advantage of the Ferrari since the new ground effect era, from the 2022, 23, and I think it's been carried forward in the 24 season as well. But we all know the difficulty where Ferrari used to face was in terms of the race pace, and particularly tire wear, because I have said in the testing stream as well, the more you put the stress on tires, the more they come into their working range, and the more they come into their working range, they perform better on one lap, and that's the reason we have seen Ferrari to be absolutely monstrous in terms of one lap pace. But this thing plays against their favor in terms of the race pace, because we know more the stress on the tires, more the tire wear, and more the tire drop, right? So if I was to say, though the testing data suggests that Ferrari have improved a lot in terms of the tire wear and all, because earlier in previous years testing, it was like the first lap was quick, second was a bit slow, and then as the laps passed, the lap times decreased exponentially. So but in this year's testing, the decrease in lap time, though there will be decrease in lap time because of tire wear, but the decrease in lap time was subtle, like it was quite constant throughout the stint, and the data even says that they are quicker than Red Bull in terms of race pace, but I don't believe that might be sandbagging from the side of Red Bull. But still, it suggests that the Ferrari have managed a lot of deficit in terms of race pace by, I would say, compromising a bit of qualifying pace, which I would say is a fair deal for a team like Ferrari. But yeah, now moving back to Mercedes, the advantage of Mercedes is exactly opposite to Ferrari. Last season, Mercedes were like absolutely quick in terms of race pace. We would say second, third, in the start of the season they were third to fourth best, but as the season progressed, they were right up there with Red Bull. Like not exactly challenging them, but being the second quickest team, Lewis Hamilton finished P3 in the driver standings, which even solidifies this point. But I would say the main drawback of Mercedes last season was Ferrari's strength is qualifying pace. Mercedes, unlike Ferrari, struggle a lot to bring the tires into optimal working range in terms of one lap pace, which really hampered them a lot. And the data suggests that it is not exactly solved this season. But I would say if you get a grid position somewhat around P4 rather than P2 and have a great race pace, we all know Bahrain is a great overtaking track. They might face difficulties in track like Monaco and various places, but talking about Bahrain, overtaking is much more simpler comparatively than as compared to tracks like Monaco, Mexico, and all those tracks. So I would say, considering all these aspects and the data from the testing suggests that Mercedes are, as I said, 2.5 times slower than Red Bull, and so are Ferrari as well. So the data says that Ferrari and Mercedes are approximately similar to Red Bull in terms of race pace. But there was another data like this. I'm talking a lot about data, but that's all we have to predict the pecking order. The another data said about the top speeds, and in that data, Mercedes was approximately 20 kph slower than Red Bull. And we all know Mercedes has been a draggy car throughout the past few seasons. The straight line speed hasn't been the advantage, but a counter was the top two teams in terms of straight line speed were Williams and McLaren, which suggests that the Mercedes engine is quick. And Mercedes, considering they are the slowest, we don't see this usually from a works team to be the slowest in terms of straight line speed. So I think Mercedes were sandbagging, though all the teams were sandbagging, but Mercedes I would think were sandbagging a bit more, which will also play in the hands of race pace. I would say somewhat around half a tenth per lap, because straight line speed matters around Sakir, you can see on the track as well. Lots of straight lines here, so Mercedes I would say are sandbagging a bit more than compared to the nearest rivals, so this will put them P2 in the pecking order, and this brings us to the simple conclusion that Ferrari are P3. So the top three according to me are Red Bull, Mercedes and Ferrari. So yes, what do you guys feel about my top three? Do share your thoughts in the live chat. And in the live chat we have Byron 2, if I'm sorry if I'm saying the wrong pronunciation, that Max is P1 season over. I agree with him, because though it's practice, but still in practice this man wants to be P1. So all the best to all of you fans. I'm with you. We are in this suffering together for throughout the whole season, where we listen only a single anthem throughout the season, that is the Dutch and the Austrian national anthem. This season I don't even expect Checo to win, because Max is a lot motivated from the previous season. We all know when Checo won 2 races, Max was like, I want to win and I will win all of the races, and he did apparently, bar one race at Singapore. So don't be shocked if you listen the Austrian and the Dutch national anthem for 24 times this season. Yeah, as I say about the pecking order, it's Red Bull, Red Bull, Mercedes, Ferrari, and then we move on to McLaren, which is a simple conclusion, because though McLaren are not as slow as they were for the past few 2 seasons, we all know 2022 and 23, McLaren like absolutely crawling their way at the bottom of the field. They were like P12, P13, P18, P19 in some of the races as well. But this season the progress looks good and is surely much better than the past few seasons. I would say in this track at least, not throughout the whole season. In this track at least, they might be a bit more closer to Aston Martin than as compared to Ferrari. Throughout the season, especially at high speed tracks, they might be closer to Red Bull even, but at the moment, they might be a bit more closer to Aston Martin as compared to their Ferrari, Mercedes and Red Bull. So McLaren I would predict to be P4. Then we have Aston Martin, who I would say will be again unlike 2024 2023 endings. At the start of the season, they were like looking to challenge Red Bull for race wins and consistent podiums. But we all know as the season progressed and as time passed away, did you say you have exams? I thought you will. Okay, yes, mate. I do still have exams, Kiefer, but still, I woke up 6 in the morning, and it's currently 6 in the evening here in India. So I tried to wrap up my studies till in these 12 hours so that I can do the live stream. I will after the stream again go and continue my studies, then again come for FP2 and continue my studies. It's a bit hectic, but yeah, for the love of Formula 1, it's quite valid to say the least. But yeah, as we're discussing about the pecking order, in the meantime, let's reach at least 5570 subscribers. It will be really awesome, and 10 likes, maybe it will be really great. So yeah, coming back to the pecking order and all, the top four, the top five to say the least, I said are Mercedes, Red Bull. Sorry, Red Bull. It's my dream of Mercedes to be the quickest, but I don't now want Mercedes to be quickest because I want Ferrari to be quickest, because we all know Lewis moving to Ferrari. So Ferrari is my new team from next season. This season I hope Mercedes wins, but still all my money onto Ferrari for creating a better base for Mercedes. And here we can see only the two McLarens on track at the moment. Norris on the set of medium tires and Oscar Piastri on a set of brand new tires. So I think Oscar might go quickest here on the timing sheets. A good sector 1, going good to through sector 2 as well. So yeah, Oscar I think might go top of the time sheets here, because till now all the timings have been set on the medium set of tires. So first lap by Oscar Piastri here on a set of soft tires. We can see Oscar Piastri green sector 1, purple sector 2. So yes, and 3 tenths quicker than Max as well. So surely Oscar is going to be the top of the timesheets here. Let's follow him throughout the final few corners. Here goes Oscar Piastri. The final penultimate corner doesn't quite exist, but there are still 2 corners at the end. Here comes Oscar Piastri, goes quickest and is 4 tenths clear of Max Verstappen. So the car starting to show their pace bit by bit, but still not the actual pace we should expect from the teams. So yeah, as I was saying about the pecking order, we have discussed about Red Bull, Mercedes, Ferrari and McLaren. Talking about Aston Martin, last season's beginning they were like the closest challenger to Red Bull, and as the season progressed we saw their pace drop off bit by bit, and at the end of the season there was even points where Fernando Alonso was even unable to make it into Q3. So I would say this will play more into the hands of the team's inexperience of fighting at the front, as compared to the big boys like Mercedes, Red Bull, Ferrari, McLaren, those 4 group. We all know all those teams have had their times. Mercedes had their domination era, Ferrari, Red Bull, all McLaren, all those teams have had their eras of domination, so they have a bit more understanding of how to maintain the top position as compared to Aston Martin. Still comparatively a new team to being at the top of the sport, which cost them a bit, I would say, in terms of the speed of upgrades they brought last season and the upgrade they brought in Austin. No, I think it was Canada or Austin, I am not sure. That even slowed their pace down. So yeah, Aston Martin I would say won't be very slow, but I don't think they will be as quick as they were at the beginning of last season. And also I think they will again be a long way clear of the rest of the midfield, which includes Alpine and all those other teams. So I would say Aston Martin, I think in those 9-10 places will be a bit behind McLaren, but a long way ahead of the 6 teams. So yeah, the top 5 will be according to me Red Bull, Mercedes, Ferrari, McLaren and Aston Martin. The bottom half of the midfield, I will go P6 to be Visa Cash App RB. We all know Racing Bulls, the newly rebranded Alpha Tauri aka Toro Rosso. The parts which it has on his car are quite interesting, because the front suspension is from RB19. We all know it's the all-conquering RB19. The front suspension on Visa Cash App is from the RB19. The rear suspension is from RB19. So lots of parts from the RB19 which will surely help them to move a further bit in the fight for the midfield. So it is a big advantage which plays in the hands of RB Also, we all know they have close ties with Red Bull, though they might not exchange some data, but they share the same internal, if I'm not wrong, in Milton Keynes. So yes, and also if you guys might remember from the ending of last season, uh, RB was approximately the fifth, sixth best team, considering the upgrades they brought in Mexico. We all know Daniel Ricciardo was P4 in qualifying and I think P6 in race. So the RB team was on a rise in the closing stages of the last season, and I think they will continue this trajectory throughout this season as well. So this brings me them to predicting to be P6, maybe the outliers for points, challenging closely to Aston Martin for the final few points paying position. I would say, at least at this moment in season, we cannot predict anything exactly for the upcoming races, but at this moment they seem to be not competing McLaren and all those teams. I think their closest competitors might be Aston Martin and maybe Williams, which brings me to the seventh best team. Considering the data and all, again I'm saying data and all, the Williams team looks much more well balanced than last season. We all know last season it was like Williams were the straight line speed merchants, and in terms of cornering speed they were like nowhere, like they were a long way behind the rest of the teams. But this straight line speed really played in their favors in tracks like Spa and Canada and all those tracks. But this season the straight line speed is not massive, but the cornering speed is a big advantage. So I think Williams might have taken some straight line speed in result for the cornering speed. So which is, I would say, a great exchange, giving straight line speed in terms of cornering speed. And also we all know James Vowles has really been on a run to restructure the Williams team. We can see Lando Norris here on a set of soft tires, green first sector and purple middle sector. We will keep an eye on him as well. But as I was saying, Williams team principal James Vowles has been on a run to restructure Williams a lot this season, because we all know Williams in 2019-2020, all those era, they were quite a long way behind the field. And here goes Lando Norris, fastest of all, 2 tenths ahead of his teammate into the 132.9 into the 132s for the first time this season. So yeah, as I was saying, Williams really struggled a lot in the past few eras where Claire Williams and all were in charge. It was not their fault though, but the structure throughout the Williams team was like in 2014, if you guys might remember. Williams were quick even in 2016 season finale, the Rosberg and Hamilton, 2014, in 2014 also they were, I think, P2 and P3 in the race. So they were quick in this turbo hybrid era as well. But as the seasons have passed, the straight line speed has been consistently there. But the race pace and especially the cornering has been like slowly and steadily going down 2015, 16, 17, and there was a time in 2019 where the car wasn't even ready for testing. So yeah, the main reason which James Vowles say is that the facility that the team have, in words of James Vowles, he says that the team is approximately 10 years behind rest of the teams in terms of infrastructure. And also he has invested a lot in the team. Like he has suggested, he can't invest though he's not an investor, he has suggested a lot to invest in the teams in the right areas, in the right facilities, and the results have shown. On track we have seen Williams scoring points more consistently. And when I'm talking about Williams, it's Alex Albon. Logan Sargent's performance was less satisfactory last season. We'll come on the point as well. But as I was saying, Williams has shown some signs of progress throughout the last season, and I think they might be on the up this season as well, and will stack up to be the 7th best team. And I think in 8th place we might have Alpine. It's very hard to say, but at the moment, when I am doing this live stream as well, we exactly don't know where Alpine stand. If you can see on the timings, Alpine are where is Ocon? P15 and P18, which justifies my predictions them to be the 8th quickest team, because I don't know what's wrong with the team. They are a works team. Works team means they have their own facility, own engine, own chassis, everything. Means they don't manufacture anything, they don't import anything from the rest of the competitors. But I would say being a works team and being P8 or P7, like the 7th or the 8th best team, isn't a satisfactory result for a team of the standards of Alpine. We all know they have had big investors like, I don't remember the name, but they were like a lot of huge investors in the team. So I would say it's not a satisfactory result, but this is the hard truth that Alpine are approximately the 8th best team here in the pecking order. There might be improvements throughout the season, but at the moment, as things stand, I will say Alpine stand P8 in the standings, a bit more closer to RB and Williams than compared to Sauber, Kick Sauber and Haas. So yeah, according to me, Alpine are P8. Moving on to the P9. In the meantime, thank you very much everyone who tuned in. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. We have a target of 5,600 by the end of today. It will be really incredible. So yeah, as I was saying, in the 9th team we have Kick Sauber, or you can say we Stake F1 team Kick Sauber. I think officially they are running as Kick Sauber today because I think Stake company being a betting app is not allowed here in Bahrain for promotion. And in the meantime, Visa Cash App RB Daniel Ricciardo goes quickest with the soft set of tires. Less than a tenth faster than Lando Norris, but still early signs look great here for the Visa Cash App RB team. 40 viewers now. Thank you for the support, everyone. As I was saying, let's discuss about Sauber, Kick Sauber, whatever you want to call them. As we can see, George Russell making a mistake here in the first corner, which cost him a bit of lap time. Carlos Sainz also locking up, so the team's starting to push a bit more, and which in turn is costing some mistakes. As you can see, Valtteri Bottas is going P8. So yeah, we'll discuss about Kick Sauber, and there's Valtteri going up to P8. As I was saying, they are becoming Audi, if you guys might know, in 2026. Alfa Romeo, aka Sauber, aka Kick Sauber, whatever you want to call them, are going to be Audi, are being acquired by Audi for the 2026 season and beyond. So we all know for the past 5 seasons, if I'm not wrong, from 2019 to 2023, they were Alfa Romeo, but the deal between them has ended, and Sauber has officially announced that they will be acquired by Audi. I think as I'm speaking, 25% of the team has been acquired by Audi and the Audi group, so Volkswagen group. So the team are in a transition from Sauber to Audi. So I would say that seriousness in the team's camp doesn't look quite there. Like, they are waiting for Audi to acquire them and move them up the field. But the point I want to present is, though Audi is acquiring Sauber, but the mechanics will be the same, and the team, the facility, there will be improvements, but in the early stages the team will be the same. So the engineers have to perform more, that they want to create a good base for Audi as compared to I don't know the exact mindset of the team, but by the looks of it, it says that the team are waiting more for Audi to come and improve the team as compared to them improving by them own selves. So that's a bit hurting, but that's the reality. And we all know the drivers, Valtteri Bottas and Zhou Guanyu. Zhou is not the best driver out there, and Valtteri Bottas, we all know, is in a zone of Kimi Raikkonen at the moment. Like, we all know Kimi in the end stages of his career in Alfa Romeo was kind of chilling there, was like, yeah, I'm biding my time, 2-3 seasons will be there and will retire. I will say Valtteri is in the same phase. He was quick in the early stages of 2022, but as the time has progressed, that seriousness has slowly and steadily gone from the race pace of Valtteri, and this even reflects in the results as well. If you guys might have seen some results from 2022, he even beat George Russell in the qualifying as well. So he was a bit more intent towards performing rather than he is now. We have a live chat and daily. Where is science going next year? Any ideas? Okay, we'll discuss about science and all the future stuff in the FP2 stream. So if you guys are interested in that stuff, be sure to join the stream for FP2. I think it will be in 2 hours after the FP1 stream ends. So yeah, be sure to like, subscribe and all that good stuff to be able to be notified about the FP2 stream. In that stream, we'll be discussing more about the driver standings, more about the future opportunity for the drivers and the upcoming season, more in depth, like what we can expect next season and in 2026 as well. So we'll discuss about it as well. So be sure to like and subscribe to the channel to be able to catch up to all those stuff. But yeah, as I was saying about Sabers, they look a bit more distracted from the goal. They are like waiting for Audi to come and improve them rather than improving themselves. So yeah, predicting them to be P9. And this brings us to the last team, the slowest of all, and currently on my screen as well, the Haas F1 team. Kevin Magnussen is 19th, Hülkenberg is 20th, so the lap times I would say justify with themselves. Though, as I said, it's really painful to see Haas here, because if you guys might remember from the starting of 2022, we all know 21 the driver lineup of Nikita Mazepin and Mick Schumacher was with Haas, and Haas openly said that they are giving up development on their 2021 car to focus solely on the 2022 car, which will give them a performance boost, and which indeed did, because if you guys might remember, I think Magnussen was 5th in the Bahrain Grand Prix, which was quite stellar at that time. Like, there were news everywhere that the Kevin Magnussen has a Viking comeback and all that stuff. So, but throughout the season after Bahrain and all those races, the performance of Haas and also Magnussen has really dropped a lot. So, as things stands, we are in a region where Magnussen is not performing well at all, and Hülkenberg is performing, and we can see here Charles Leclerc setting some purple mini sectors, but I think he's sandbagging a bit more. As I was saying, Hülkenberg is performing in qualifying, but Kevin Magnussen is not even performing great in qualifying as well as the race pace. So, a lot of uncertainty there in the side of Kevin Magnussen, but in the side of Nico Hülkenberg, sorry, I was blanked out there. In the side of Nico Hülkenberg, we can see that he is good in qualifying, which shows the raw pace that the car has and the pace that Hülkenberg has within himself, the talent that he has. But we all know, if you guys might remember, I will say the best example is Canada. I think Hülkenberg was 3rd or 4th in qualifying that in that race, and I think he finished out of the points even. So this just implies that the Haas is not as quick as in race as it is in qualifying, which is a big drawback, because we all know the points are offered on Sunday on the race day, as here Alex Albon improves to P12 on the set of medium tires. But as I was saying, we all know the points are offered on Sunday, and it's the place which matters the most. Hülkenberg, I think, was 10-11 times into Q3 last season, which is quite great comparing that Haas was P10 in the standings. So the car has raw pace, but I would say the tire issues really hampered them a lot and really have caused them a lot of progress. And this season also, if you might see the testing data, it is quite clear that Haas have done the most amount of laps throughout among any of the teams. And what it suggests is Haas were more focused on race pace. I would say solely focus on race pace in terms as compared to the qualifying pace. So I would say Haas looked in a bit of uncertainty at the moment in testing. Here also in the actual practice, you can see that they are P19 and P20. So there is a long season ahead of Haas, and they look to be in a not exactly no man's land. We all know the pecking order is quite close at the moment. I would say maybe a second and a half slower than the Red Bull, and closer to Williams and Haas and Sauber and all those guys. So yeah, my final pecking order predictions, I will go from the bottom. Haas in P10, then we have Kick Sauber in P9, P8 goes to Williams, no sorry, Alpine, P7 goes to Williams, P6 goes to Visa Cash App RB, credit card, debit card, whatever you want to call it. I'll call it RB. P6 goes to RB. P5 goes to Aston Martin. P4 goes to McLaren. P3 goes to Ferrari. P2 go to Mercedes, and P1 goes to Red Bull. So yes, these are my predictions for the pecking order for the teams in this season, at least in the early 2-3 races. When the updates start rolling, it will be more of a rat race. The team which brings more upgrades is ahead in the respective packs. And if I was to create a pack, I'll create a class of its own for Red Bull. Like, they won't be untouchable, I think, throughout the season. Maybe at the end they might be a bit more challenged by a few other teams, but still they might be still a long way clear. So one group I will create for Red Bull. Then I will create group for Ferrari, Mercedes, Aston Martin and McLaren. Those 4 teams for the P2 I think will be quite close to each other, and considering the strengths and weaknesses of the car, they might even be P2, P3, P4 accordingly. So the group for Red Bull, group for Mercedes, Ferrari, McLaren and Aston Martin. Then I would say in P6 we might have RB and kind of Williams. So yeah, RB and Williams for P6. Then for P, and then I will create a group for Alpine, Kick Sauber and Haas. So yeah, Red Bull one group, Mercedes, McLaren, Ferrari, Aston Martin the other group. Here we can see Max Verstappen on board. The car looks steady, which is a quite threatening sign for the future of Formula 1, because we all know a steady Formula 1 car, the car which obeys the order of the driver, is a quick car, and the onboard suggests that the Red Bull is quite steady and stable throughout the corners. So yeah, as I was saying, one group for Red Bull, the another for Mercedes, Ferrari, McLaren, Aston Martin. Then we can go for RB and Williams. Thus, and also we can consider the rest of the pack in this group as well, the Williams, Sauber, Alpine and Haas. So I would say one group for the top team, the 4 groups for the 2nd to 5th, and then the bottom half of the midfield is covered in one group. Maybe Haas maybe a bit lower, maybe 10th or 2 slower than the closest rival, but yeah, this were my predictions for the season, for the early half of the season. What are your predictions? Do share them in the live chat. I am quite keen to keen at looking what your predictions are. So yeah, and in the meantime, the live stream is still going on, but if you guys have not seen my fan made F1 2023 intro, the opening titles, then be sure to check it on my channel. I will upload the link as well so that you will be able to watch it. And the support on this video has been really quite incredible. So yeah, I will share the link in the live chat so you will be able to give the video a look. So yeah, here is the link for the video, and there you go. If you want to take a look at the opening titles made by me, it's not exactly made, it's like I would say a rearrangement of the drivers from the past year's drivers standings results, and also a few bit more clips from here and there for Max Verstappen and all those drivers. So yeah, be sure to check it out. Currently I'm on 33,000 views, and maybe 100k, maybe 50,000 is my actual goal, so it will be really incredible. So yeah, be sure to give the video view as well. Final few 10 minutes of the practice one here. If you have to take a look on the results will be Daniel Ricciardo is quickest. Hello. So Daniel is not surely quick. We all know the top boys of Red Bull, Ferrari, Mercedes haven't did exactly a lap on the set of soft tires. So yeah, take the timings again with a pinch of salt. Ricciardo is quickest, followed by Norris, who is in P2, which is a bit interesting to say because Norris also set a lap time on the soft set of tires. So I think a bit more sandbagging there for McLaren team. This live chat here. And Daily, how about having a poll in the chat sometime? Yeah, let's have a live poll. The data might stop for a second, but we'll create a poll in the live chat here. Start a poll, and who do you think is quickest team at the... In the meantime, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It will be really helpful for me, and I'm creating the poll. So yeah, let's put Red Bull. No, I'll put the drivers instead because we all know Red Bull are quick. Max Verstappen. Then we might go for Charles Leclerc. Then let's go for Lando Norris, and we will go for Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton. So yeah, posting it. Quickest is... yeah, that's the poll, and here's the link for the opening titles as well. So yeah, as I was saying, let's take a look at the practice results, what has happened till now. Take the results with a pinch of salt. These are not representative at all, because I will say FP2 will be more representative. The running hour of FP2 is more similar to what we will see in the actual qualifying and race. And just to let you guys know, in the past hour, On my opening titles, I've had 500 views, which is really incredible. So yes, thank you for the support. Though it plays a big factor that F1 haven't officially uploaded their own opening titles, but yeah, still 33,000. I hoped for 10,000. I got 33,000, which is quite incredible. So yeah, as I was saying, let's discuss about what according to me might the actual pecking order. Sorry, the practice results. I have discussed the pecking order. I was a bit lost there. Just let me check if the official opening titles has been uploaded. Okay, it has been uploaded. So yeah, thank you for the support, everyone. The official opening title is uploaded, and I think the video might not perform as good as it performed throughout the year, but yeah, 33,000 is quite incredible. So yeah, let's move back to the results for practice. We have Ricardo quickest with a lap time of 132.8. Then we have Norris in P2. 300 slower than Ricardo there, but take the timings with a pinch of salt, as I said. Piastri is P3, Tsunoda P4, Alonso P5, Verstappen, the man to watch out for, is P6, Russell is P7, Leclerc P8, Hamilton P9, and Bottas rounds up the top 10. Then we have Sainz in P11, Perez P12, Albon P13, Stroll P14, Zhou P15, Sargent P16, then Ocon, Gasly, and the two Hasses of Magnussen and Hülkenberg rounding up the top 10. So yeah, these are the results for the testing, and I don't think the timings might change a lot here, but yeah, it will be interesting to see. Currently we are 30 viewers, so please don't forget to like the stream and subscribe the channel, because it really helps me a lot. And also I have a target of 5,600 views, 5,600 subscribers maybe by the end of today. So yeah, it will be really helpful. And yeah, as I was saying, in the past few minutes, the opening titles has fallen off the cliff. I was quite prepared for this, because we all know when the official opening title is uploaded, no one will watch my fan-made title. But yeah, the practice results are absolutely not representative here, and let's see what's happening on the track at the moment, and I will let you guys know. We have 8 minutes left in this live stream, in this practice session, and currently on the track we can see almost all the drivers on the track bar Valtteri Bottas. So the teams might be liking to do some practice start here for the first time officially this season. We all know in the end moments of the stream, the teams like to perform the practice starts, which gives them a much better idea for how the clutch bite is and how the car might react in the actual race start. So yeah, final few minutes of the live stream here. In the meantime, if you guys have any suggestions, any thoughts, do feel free to share them in the live chat. We'll surely have a discussion on them as well. So yeah. At the moment, we can see Charles Leclerc on track. Let's discuss more about the Ferrari scenario here. We all know. Yeah, so here the actual commentary of Formula 1 is discussing about Fernando Alonso. I would say it will be a more interesting aspect to discuss about Fernando. So we all know Fernando Alonso is the fittest driver on the track. No jokes, he's exactly the fittest driver on the track. We all know in Bahrain, in Qatar, when there was loads of heat, like we all know Qatar is a warm country because of the humid nature and the deserts and all. So all the drivers were kind of fainting. Fernando Alonso was also quite weak in the car, but if I have seen some footage when he came out of the car, all the drivers were like lying on the back on the place where they were getting. But Fernando Alonso was still looking quite energetic, which proves that the man is the fittest driver on the grid at the moment, and he is, I would say, more motivated than ever to win the third championship, because we all know Lewis is going to Ferrari. This creates an empty seat, empty opportunity for Fernando Alonso at Mercedes, and I'm quite sure Fernando Alonso won't leave a single chance of getting that Mercedes seat. We all know he's a hungry driver, he's hungry for wins and all those stuff, so yeah. Surely Fernando Alonso is aiming for that Mercedes seat if Mercedes show some promise that yes, they can beat Aston Martin. Okay, Spain gets hot also, yeah. The Spanish track is also quite hot because it's in the absolute afternoon, and I think 3-4 p.m. is the timing of the Spanish GP, so which makes it quite warmer, and also generally the climate of Spain is quite warmer as well, so yeah. As I was saying, Fernando Alonso has an eye at the Mercedes seat. If you might have listened the pre-season interview for Fernando, he was like, I am the only world champion who is out of contract. Like, we all know there are 3 world champions, Max, Lewis and Fernando. Max is with Mercedes, Red Bull, Lewis is with Ferrari, and Fernando is the only driver out of contract, only world champion out of contract, if I was to correct myself. So yeah, Fernando Alonso was kind of marketing himself that I am the only driver, only world champion out of contract. You can sign me. That was the tone of Fernando. He was saying, let Mercedes cook. Marco is saying, let Mercedes cook. I would say Mercedes are really cooking here. Maybe they are the second quickest, according to me. Time will say that. We cannot predict, as I said, anything at the moment. It will be quite early based on the practice times. If we have to say the practice times, I will say Daniel Ricciardo is the world champion and Max Verstappen is nowhere. But yeah, as I said, it is quite early to predict anything. As we can see, Valtteri Bottas on a good lap here. I don't think he will challenge the top of the timing sheets, but yeah, on a good lap there, Valtteri. As I was saying, Fernando Alonso in his pre-season interview was saying that I am the only world champion on the grid. I am open to negotiations, and if you give me a winning car, I am ready to drive for you. So basically, I would say if Mercedes will be eyeing on Andrea Kimi Antonelli, we all know Mercedes are looking a future in that young little kid, 17-year-old, who is racing in Formula 2. We'll discuss more about that in the next live stream, but as I was saying, Fernando Alonso is more motivated and more energetic than ever and is eyeing for that Mercedes seat more than anything else, because we all know how much Fernando loves to win. And if Mercedes are able to convince Fernando, because see, the dynamic will be, if Kimi Antonelli is ready, like he is ready for the step up from Formula 2 to Formula 1, Mercedes will instantly sign him. But if he isn't ready and Mercedes are like, they want to give him 2-3 more seasons in Formula 2 or maybe in Williams as well for creating his confidence, so Mercedes might be looking to sign Fernando Alonso as a space filler for two seasons, maybe I will say 25 and 26, until Kimi Antonelli is ready, because he's only 17 years, guys, so he has loads of opportunities in front of him. So Mercedes, I would think, shouldn't rush with the Kimi Antonelli situation, or else it will be like the Verstappen. If you guys might be aware, Verstappen was being linked with Mercedes and Red Mercedes seat, but the Toto said that he will need to wait for 2-3 more seasons until he gets a seat at Red Bull, and on the contrary, Helmut Marko gave the seat to Max instantly, so that's why Max went to Red Bull. So Mercedes will need to be patiently cautious about the future of Kimi Antonelli in Mercedes. We'll discuss about it, but as we are talking about Fernando Alonso, he is more fit and motivated than ever, and if you can convince that you have a race winning car, then boom, you have Fernando in your team. Maybe it be Ferrari, any team on the grid. Though Ferrari seat is not available, there is Max Radio. Let's see what he's saying. Max is saying very inconsistent downshifts again. So the usual stuff from Max Verstappen, we all know in the past few seasons he has been throughout the Bahrain race for the past 2-3 seasons that downshifts are inconsistent and upshifts are making some noise, but ignore him. He is just trying to distract us from the actual thing that the Red Bull are quickest. So yeah, as I was saying, Fernando Alonso is in the fittest state he has ever been throughout his career, and it would be interesting to see the dynamic that Fernando Alonso brings to the team. So yeah, let's see where he ends up. Maybe Mercedes, maybe Red Bull, cannot say anything for certain. So the last minute of the testing, and thank you very much for the support. We have had 800 views approximately on this live stream, and the poll results are interesting, says the the poll results are really interesting, because 27% of you have voted for Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen to be quickest, 13% are with Charles Leclerc, and 20% are with Lando Norris, and 40% are with Lewis Hamilton. So the poll results are interesting, and I hope these are the actual results, but we all know it is very hard to happen for Mercedes to be quickest. But yeah, for the final few 30 seconds of test practice. So thank you very much everyone for the support throughout the stream. It has been really incredible, and throughout the opening titles video as well, though I would say it won't get as much views as it used to get, but still quite happy I reached 33k, and it really means a lot to me. So yeah, thank you for the support throughout those videos as well, and throughout this video, I would say 800 views. I expected to reach 1k views, but I will say quite happy with 800 as well. And yeah, thank you for the support. Don't forget to like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys for the FP2 session again with the live stream with the commentary. So yeah, be sure to subscribe the channel to be not able to miss any updates from my channel for qualifying predictions. I have uploaded the qualifying prediction for Bahrain. Be sure to check them out. The race predictions have been uploaded as well, and all those videos have been uploaded. So qualifying and race predictions videos have been uploaded, so be sure to check them out. And yeah, thank you for the support, and I'll quickly run you through the results. Those are Ricardo, and these are the results for the first practice session. And here are the results for the first practice session from the Formula 1 2024. Daniel Ricciardo is quickest with a lap time of 1:33, if I'm not wrong. And then we have Lando Norris, who is less than a tenth behind him in P2. Then the McLaren of Oscar Piastri is P3. Then we have Yuki Tsunoda, the teammate of Ricciardo, in P4. So early signs suggest that RB are quick, though not first and fourth pace, but the pace of RB is quick, looking at the early signs. And early lap times, we have then Fernando in P5, the reigning three-time world champion, Max Verstappen in P6, Russell is P7, Leclerc P8, Hamilton P9, Bottas P10. Then we have Sainz, Perez, Albon, Stroll, Zhou, Sargent, Ocon, Gasly, Magnussen, and Hülkenberg rounding out the top 20. And practice 1 is officially over. See you guys for practice 2, practice 3, qualifying and race. So be sure to like, subscribe, all the good stuff, and I'll see you guys for FP2. Till that time, have a great day ahead. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you.